You've made $3,000 doing 5 hours worth of work. This is for all you real estate agents who laugh at renting apartments and so forth. You're struggling in between deals trying to make it happen. And we all find ourselves there. Every day, you're as good as your last deal. All right? Keep that in mind. But what you want to do is you want to focus on renting apartments and making sure that that is part of your portfolio. Now, the first apartment that I'm going to discuss with you is an apartment that I recently rented in East Orange, New Jersey. When I say an apartment, there were 2 apartments. It was a multi-family home, meaning two apartments inside of this property. You had a first floor, you had a second floor. Each apartment was renting for $1,500 each, $1,500 a piece. And basically what I did was I got the listing and I listed the apartment on Craigslist.com. I listed it on Turbo Tenant, of course on my MLS, as well as Apartments.com, and a few other sources that I utilize. And it took me all of about 15 minutes to place the ad on Craigslist and all these various websites. Now I write my ads one time. And what I do is I cut and paste and I copy that ad that I wrote into the feed, into all of those rental feeds that are on the internet. And I post them. Now, all together with me typing and writing those ads, it takes me about, let's say I invest about an hour into writing all of those ads. Now, once I write those ads and I put them on the internet, I just sit back. It goes on autopilot. The websites that I put them on are called syndication websites. Syndication means that they don't just go on that website alone. They go on to other websites like Realtor.com, Rental Monkey, number of other funny name websites. But either way, the apartments get tons of exposure. I'd say within 48 hours, no more than 48 hours, I begin to see a response. Interested people start to come interested in the apartments and so forth. So let's say 72 hours in, I should expect to receive phone calls, inquiries, inquiring about the apartments. Now, with the apartments, it's 1 month's rent. In the state of New Jersey, it's 1 month's rent, 1 month security, and 1 month's broker's fee. So let's say 72 hours in, my phone's off the hook. I got about, let's say 7, 8, 9 leads. I pre-qualify those leads. I make sure that they're making enough money to afford the apartment. I make sure that they are interested in living that apartment. They've seen the pictures, everything. And what I do then is I set up a open house for them to come and look at the apartment. One day, everyone comes to look at the apartment. All right. 72 hours in, let's say within the first week of me marketing this apartment, I'm showing the apartment 5 days in from the point of me getting the apartment to me showing the apartment. I'm showing it within 5 days. All right. Now this apartment, once I show up to the apartment, I've got 7 people interested in the apartment. Of course, the apartment is going to be lovely. I only show lovely apartments. Now, once I have an interested party, it only takes me an hour tops to show this apartment, and I got to hang around and, explain any details and so forth that my clients may have in regard to the apartment. So I've spent an hour listing the apartment, putting it on the internet and so forth. I spent another hour and some change showing the apartment. I've got interested parties in the apartments, both apartments, right? Because I'm doing an open house and I'm showing both apartments. So thus far, I've invested in listing the apartment, putting the apartment online, setting the appointments and so forth. I probably spent about 3 hours in time, right? Now that we've got a client interested in the apartment, because once I got a client is interested in apartment 2 and an client interested in apartment 1, I begin to do the pre-qualification process. That means I collect ID, I do the credit check, I do the criminal background check, and I do the housing court history check. Let's say I invest another hour into that. So that's now I'm at 4 hours of time invested in renting these 2 apartments. All right. Once that is done and all the paperwork comes back and we have good credit or good enough credit to get this apartment, once we verify the pay stub that they are actually employed and working full time, now we move forward to doing a lease, providing that the landlord accepts them in as a tenant. So we process the lease, and this is the stuff that you guys should have learned in real estate school, how to write a lease. I'm not going to get into that, but if you want me to assist you in learning how to write a lease, you could sign up for my boot camp training. It's very affordable, and I'll help you guys write leases and so forth. All right. So now, wrapping things up, we're doing the lease right now on 2 apartments. So what we did was we killed 2 birds with 1 stone. We have a $1,500 2-bedroom on the first floor and a $1,500 2-bedroom on the second floor. We rented both apartments within 5 days. Okay, 5 hours worth of work. All right, 5 days, 5 hours worth of work. Each apartment gives us a broker's fee of $1,500. $1,500 plus $1,500 is $3,000. You've made $3,000 in. You've made $3,000 doing 5 hours worth of work.